From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, May the 3rd, 2021. A Palestinian terrorist shot at civilians waiting at a bus stop in the West Bank yesterday evening. Security camera footage shows a vehicle pulling up to the Tapuach Junction and opening fire. 3 young men were hit by that gunfire, all of them said to be 19-year-old yeshiva students. 2 of them were injured very seriously. The IDF said troops returned fire at the vehicle, which fled the scene. IDF troops are searching for the vehicle and setting up roadblocks in the area, they tweeted. There were reports later today that the car was found by Palestinians who set it on fire. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded to the drive-by shooting yesterday on social media, writing, "We will not allow terrorism to raise its head, and we will strike our enemies with force." In a separate incident yesterday, also in the West Bank, a Palestinian woman tried to stab IDF soldiers at the Gush Etzion junction. The woman approached the soldiers brandishing a knife, ignored their calls to stop, also ignored their warning shots in the air and at her feet, continuing to approach the soldiers. And the IDF tweeted that a soldier fired toward the assailant who was killed. No IDF injuries were reported. 2 incendiary balloons sent from Gaza landed in southern Israel today. The Sha'ar HaNegev Regional Council reported that the balloons were found in agricultural fields in Kibbutz Kfar Aza, which is near Israel's border with Gaza. Police sappers safely removed the explosives. Well, Israel's Knesset held a memorial today for the 45 victims of the disaster at Mount Meron Thursday night during Lag BaOmer celebrations, where the victims were crushed in an overcrowded and slippery exit ramp walkway at the traditional mass gathering site. Prime Minister Netanyahu told the gathering today, "We all mourn the terrible blow," while also noting the unity shown in the wake of the tragedy. He said Israelis, Jews, and Arabs alike have shown mutual responsibility and a huge heart in the wake of what is said to be Israel's deadliest peacetime disaster. Israel's state controller said today that he would be opening a special investigation. Netanyahu Engelman told a Jerusalem press conference about the Mount Meron tragedy, "This is an event that was preventable, and now it is up to us to examine and investigate how and what should have been done to prevent it." A national day of mourning was observed in Israel yesterday. Flags were flown at half-staff, schools held special programs, and concerts and sporting events were postponed. Police in New York arrested a man suspected of carrying out a number of attacks on synagogues in the Bronx neighborhood of Riverdale, throwing rocks through doors and windows. The NYPD said the 29-year-old was arrested on hate crimes charges Saturday in Riverdale after he allegedly broke into a shed at Adif Israel, one of the synagogues that he had previously targeted, and stole a bicycle, apparently also throwing Jewish prayer books on the ground. He was stopped by police while riding the bicycle for a moving violation. NYPD Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism John Miller took part in a press conference in the Bronx on Saturday about the investigation and arrest.
We've been in contact through the Hate Crimes Unit and Community Affairs with all of the houses of worship involved in this, and I think that this will bring a great sense of relief to that community.
May is Jewish Heritage Month, and the White House released a message to mark the occasion from President Joe Biden, who said this month, "We honor Jewish Americans, past and present, who have inextricably woven their experience and their accomplishments into the fabric of our national identity." Biden also noted in his statement 2 historic firsts, he said, as America saw the vice president take the oath of office alongside her Jewish spouse, And a Jewish American became the first majority leader of the United States Senate and the highest-ranking Jewish American elected official in our nation's history, referring there to New York Senator Chuck Schumer. The president also noted the rise of anti-Semitism in the U.S. and the fight to combat it. He concluded that during Jewish American Heritage Month, we honor Jewish Americans who, inspired by Jewish values and American ideals, have engaged in the ongoing work of forming a more perfect union. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, May the 3rd at 7 o'clock. It's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth. At 7:30, learn about top technologies in the IDF and outstanding strides of innovation being made by Israeli soldiers on the new FIDF Live. At 8, one of the world's leading experts on the Iranian regime, Mark Dubowitz, argues against the U.S. possibly rejoining the Iran deal in a program of honest reporting Canada. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Tyler Gregory, who talks about his work as executive director of A Wider Bridge, working to expand LGBTQ inclusion in Israel. At 10, from the 92nd Street Y, hear from transgender activist Abby Stein, who speaks with Rabbi Scott Perlow about her journey. And coming up next, Shachar Azani speaks with Professor Ronnie Gamzu, Israel's former corona czar, and Sourasky Medical Center director, who talks about Israel's success in battling COVID-19. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, May the 3rd, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.